hearts were broken. From the early terracotta kingdoms to the land of bronze and ivory, from Opobo to Nembe, from Ife's golden palaces to the Calabari, from Idoma land all the way to the Caliphate. Heartbreak spread like wildfire. And what do we say to these things? That the one whose beauty songs were written about has abandoned all suitors for a foreigner? Though she tried to resist, Onome fell for the pale man's kiss. Shh, Amebo. Don't say I told you. Don't spread the news yet. There are whispers in the market. They say the one whose beauty nations praised is trapped by the beguiling voice of a man who speaks in a tongue she does not understand. His name was Thomas. Onome deafened her ears as the drums within her spoke of death, of birth, and of war. The people around her were silent as they watched her carry on with a man whose skin refused to drink the sun and eyes like glass. Should have seen them parade the streets. Onome in her simple wrappers and Thomas in his stiff clothes, metal in hand and fear in his eyes. He had come to trade salt, mirrors, cloth. He sought the one they spoke of her beauty. He wanted to make her his wife. And she said yes. The day Onome decided to be joined to a foreigner, the women heard the trees shrink. The land itself recoiled. The elders debated. Some remembered the first white sails that touched the distant coast, bearing gifts and vanishing children. Onome's people welcomed Thomas with gifts of palm wine and cola. Thomas brought with him guns that barked like thunder and books that whispered in ink. Onome was proud. Finally, a man worthy of her. Other beautiful maidens from other lands decided that if Onome could be joined to a white man, and they deserved white men too. The wedding was a festival. People came from all over to see the woman from the other world joined to the man with skin as pale as milk. But time does what time always does. And we find Onome changed by this strange joining. The first thing Thomas made her do was change her name. He made her cast away her meaning for a name with no roots. Morwen. It meant maiden. Thomas took her to the schools and churches he built as he burned down her places of worship. He did not mean to do this slow death. He loved her the only way he knew how. He loved her until the goddess within her was quieted. But did Morwen? No. Did Morwen, the ever dutiful Morwen, did she complain? No. Thomas wanted her to speak his tongue, so she learned to say the words, wrapping them around her lips and spitting them out to fit her newness. Good wives never ask why. Smoke swallowed her fires, and the burning of her sacred cove was cut down. She hid in herself, and at night she played the drums within her softly, the logs of wood reminding trees of names no longer spoken. Her mother's wise words stopped her once again. You must remember you were before Thomas told you to become. There was a time Onome walked with her head held high, not in shame, but in thunder and rain, in yam harvest and in childbirth. The gods did not ask for submission and submission. They only asked for balance. Onome remembered those times as she touched the carved stones of her existence, not knowing whether to pray or to apologize for the woman she was and the woman she wanted to be. She wanted to find a way back to herself. Onome wanted her independence. So as she walked away, she left him a letter. How to fall in love with a white man. Not by forgetting where you are from. Not by folding your voice to fit his song. By walking with your roots intact. By letting your truth speak just as loud as his. Fall for the ears that listen when your winds unwind. For the heart that holds silence in the middle of your storms and finds your fire beautiful, not too foreign to be worn. Fall for the histories that shaped your name. For a culture cloaked in care. For curiosity, not a costume worn, but sacred ground where trust is born. If he learns your stories, your histories, your past, if he finds your skin more than just contrast, this is a love that is vast. As she ended her letter, Onome knew the drums within her heart had gone silent. So as she walked away into independence, she whispered a prophecy, making a pledge to herself, whispering songs that contained her name. Songs of remembering, of war, of worship, of memory. And as she sang, she found her way home.